So what's really in the chicken you buy from a supermarket? A joint investigation by ITV News, the Bureau of Investigative Journalism and The Guardian has found that 3 of the UK's biggest supermarkets are sourcing chickens from Poland dosed with antibiotics that are linked to the spread of deadly superbugs. Asda, Iceland and Lidl are buying frozen chicken products from Superdrop, a major European meat supplier, despite serious health warnings. Our investigations correspondent Daniel Hewitt joins me now. Talk us through what's been found.
Well, Nina, if you bought a frozen chicken, burgers, bites, strips, wings from Asda, Iceland and Lidl in the last few years, there's a good chance they've been supplied by this company called Superdrop in Poland. Now, we have found 2 significant things about Superdrop. We've discovered that they were the source of a major outbreak of antibiotic-resistant salmonella in the UK in 2020. Now, that outbreak killed 5 people and infected at least 1,300 others. The tests of the salmonella samples back then found that the bacteria was resistant to antibiotics. So there's a good chance that people who became sick, if the doctor prescribed antibiotics, they wouldn't have worked. We've also discovered that 3 years after that outbreak, Superdrop are still dosing their chickens with antibiotics, the same group of antibiotics that you would use to treat human infections. We had waste samples from the farms that supply the chicken to Superdrop tested at the University of Oxford. They tested positive for bacteria resistant to antibiotics, including E. coli, which is, of course, a major source of human food poisoning. Now, the background here, scientists are really worried about antibiotic resistance in humans and the creation of superbugs. This is what Professor Tim Walsh from Oxford had to say.
We're staring down the barrel of a gun. We lose roughly 3 to 4 million lives every year due to antibiotic resistance. That's pretty much what COVID killed in the human population over a span of about 2 years. That's predicted to go somewhere between 20 and 30 million by 2050.
Daniel, is this practice legal?
Well, yes and no. The use of antibiotics on farming is legal under EU law if it has to be restricted to the use of sick individual animals. It's strict EU law here we're dealing with. The use of antibiotics is widespread in the poultry industry in Poland. And what Superdrop says, they only use antibiotics when their animals are sick to treat disease when recommended by a vet. They have declined, though, to comment on the outbreak in 2020. Asda, Iceland and Lidl have told us that they have the highest food and safety standards, that the food they import is subject to rigorous checks, and that they promote the responsible use of antibiotics. TGI Fridays have declined to comment so far.
Daniel.